Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Another day. I went and picked up my front wheels and tires. See, they're 165/80 15s, tall and narrow, 4-inch wide wheels. So I'm going to go ahead and get those put on here in just a few minutes. Get them all bolted up. Grommets should be here anytime now. So as soon as those show up from UPS, I'll go ahead and get those secured in there. Then I can pass my harness through. So I'm not going to get crazy and clean a bunch of this up yet in here. It all needs to be pulled apart. I need to go through all the bearings, seals, brakes. But for now, I'll just get these wheels mounted on here, and then later I'll pull it apart. Alrighty. Got them buggers on. I think that looks way better. Of course, this front end will slowly drop. It sat without an engine for 6 months, so it's kind of relaxed and up, but after a while it'll settle back down a little bit. All right, with wheels and tires on, I actually want to go ahead and pull this harness back out. Grommets didn't show up right. Ordered some different ones that'll actually clamshell around them, so I can still run the harness through for now and then put those on and secure them. But anyways, this motor has to come back out, so I'm going to pull this harness out, unhook it all, and get a jack under the transmission, undo all the torque converter bolts, bell housing bolts, and then the motor mount bolts, pull the intake, and then I'm going to pull this out, and I can pull it out without pulling the hood off. So I'm going to get that engine out, and right here I have a new flex plate with the adapter for that torque converter, so everything will be kosher. So I'm going to spend some time doing that. So I got the harness out, just set it up on top. Now I'm going to pull these AN lines out for the catch can. Then I'll undo the throttle body, and then all the 8mm bolts for the intake. Get that thing fished out. All right, there, the intake's out. I'm gonna go ahead and undo the power steering line and the return line, get those disconnected. Then I'm gonna crawl underneath and do torque converter bolts. All right, I got all the torque converter bolts out. I just got one bell housing bolt, so I'm gonna go ahead and undo that one real quick. I got a floor jack with a 2x6 holding the tranny up. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that last bolt out, and then I'll bring the cherry picker around and put a little tension on it. Slide out motor mount bolts, get this engine out. All right, got the engine fished out. Got the flex plate off. This is the new one. Extended snout on it. That was the one that was in it. See, it doesn't have anything, so this will bump that end out so the torque converter can rest in it. All right, new one's on with some new sealant. Go ahead and swing it back in here. All right, so I got the engine in. I just got to finish putting this one last bolt in. Couple bell housing bolts and torque converter bolts. I'm just going to wiggle this cherry picker out of here, get it parked, and then it's all reassembly from here. All right, all the torque converter bolts are tightened up, and you can kind of take a peek up in there. You can see the torque converters seated all the way. Now, before I put the headers in, I'm going to get up here and change these fittings to JIC, or sorry, AN ended fittings. So then I can get my right setup on here for lines that I don't know where I'm going to run them yet. I haven't decided. Well, I went ahead and got them fittings installed down there. Ran my tranny hose up here. Goes to this big cooler. So tranny lines are complete. So now I just got to get back in here and tighten up motor mounts, get headers, valve covers, intake, harness, all that stuff back on here. All right, had to reach in there and cut off the side of that tranny ear just to make more header clearance, but now I'm going to try to get this bolt in the rest of the way and get everything snugged up. All right, I pulled a couple spark plugs out on this side. I got to pull that oil filter, and then hopefully the header will slide right up into place. All right, driver's side header is in. So just need to put an oil filter back in there and the spark plugs. But I'm going to go ahead and hop to the passenger side and get that header in. All right, got the passenger side header on. Went ahead and set the valve covers on. Now I'm going to go ahead and set the intake down in there. Just get everything kind of covered up, suck up them bolts. All right, I went ahead and got my intake back on. Can't really tell, but that's the tranny harness. I got it routed through the hole. I'm using a grommet. When it gets here, you'll see, but it just pops together on both sides. It has screws that hold it together. So that is touching metal at the moment, but once I put the grommet in, it won't. So yeah, anyways, there, now you can see better. But I went ahead and got that routed in there. I want to zip tie this up to like the tranny hoses. Holds it up away from the headers. And then I'll go ahead and get this other harness laid out, plug it in, and start zip tying it up to get it fed through the firewall also. All right, I got the harness about 80% hooked up. I got to do my grounds on the back of the heads. And I got to hook up everything in the cab with grommets. Then down here, there's input-output connector. I gotta get something wired in. I'll mount it down here. I gotta hook up crank sensor, but everything else is hooked up. Next, I'm gonna do these catch can breather, crankcase breather lines, get them hooked up. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put spark plug wires on this side. Gotta put spark plugs on the other side. All right, I'm gonna get this throttle cable laid across here real quick. Forgot about it. Quick and easy. All right, got that Motion Raceworks throttle cable hooked up. Now I'm gonna jump over here, get these back 3 spark plugs put in. All right, got them spark plugs in. I'm gonna go get my Michigan Motorsports spark plug wires and get them popped on. Got these Michigan Motorsport wires popped on this side. I'm gonna grab these ones and do this other side. There we go, all done. Plenty of room from the headers. Them things will work good. All right, that's it for tonight. I got it further together than what it was when I started today. So anyways, I'm gonna call that a wrap for tonight, and I'm gonna go home and get some sleep. I'll see you guys another day. Thanks.